Hey there, planners. Today I'm going to be setting up my personal bullet journal for the month of June 2021. I cannot believe it's summer already, but I'm super excited about incorporating some summer elements into my bullet journal. Go grab your planners and let's get planning. All right, so first things first. In the past few months, I have been doing setup videos of my bullet journal and my B6 personal rings planner. Today I'm going to break out just the bullet journal because I'm really going to maximize my use of my bullet journal this month. I've got a lot going on. Summer gets a little crazy, a little busier than normal, so I have actually gone in and done a little bit of pre-planning. You'll see sticky notes on pages and some penciled in items, how I want to use it. So I've got a lot of pages to set up this month, so I thought I would just do the bullet journal setup first, and then I'll cover the personal planner setup in a different video for you. So I do have a freebie for you. I'm going to start with my cover page, and I wanted to share this freebie with you. It's actually this awesome image. It is an image that I got off Pixabay. It is this beautiful tropical scene with a sailboat and over the ocean, and I have just printed it on vellum and taped it to this awesome cardstock I had that looks somewhat like a sunset on the water. So I just thought this was a great intro to the month of June. I do have this available for you for free to download if you'd like to use this. You can print it on vellum, you can print it on regular paper and tip it in however you want to do it. I'm actually going to be taping the cardstock down to the front cover page. If you would like to get access to this, go to Planning Annie on Instagram. The account link is in the description box below, and you will see in the bio links there a whole bunch of freebies available to you. I made a video recently about all the freebies, and you can check that out on the card above and in the description box below. So I'm going to go ahead and tape this in. All right, so I've got that cardstock taped down, and you can see it just makes a great cover page, and I love the fact that this kind of opens up. I was even thinking about using this space behind here as maybe a sticky notes dashboard if I needed it. I'm also going to put a quote over here because I just have, again, I have a lot going on in the month of June, and I also have just been missing, if I go back a year, if you go back in my videos about a year ago, you'll see that my bullet journal setups were very traditional bullet journal with a lot more drawing in and actually creating the pages. I've been missing that a bit, and I've been toying with the idea of going back to that style for One Book July, which stay tuned for more information about that. I am going to be talking more about One Book July, but I'm going to put this quote over here, and it is an Albert Einstein quote, and I found this recently, and I just thought, wow, that is really a powerful quote, and I think it goes really well with this image for the cover page. It is, "A ship is always safe at shore, but that is not what it's built for." And I just love that. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this in. All right, so I've got that inked in. You guys know my lettering is horrible. It is not my strong suit, but that's okay. I appreciate the way it looks, and I really like how it sets up June of 2021 for the cover page. So that's the cover. Let me flip over, and I have a couple of things I want to do here. I want to create a brain dump as always, and I also want to create a little mood board here. And I'm going to use some stickers and some other inspiration, but basically just create kind of a feeling for the month of June. I've got a lot going on, and I want to make sure I am setting the mood and the tone for my bullet journal and for myself for the month of June. So I'm going to get started actually with the mood board first. All right, in thinking about setting the mood, I went through a lot of I shopped my stash. I went through a bunch of supplies that I had. This is what was left over from that paper that I used under the cover. I've also got this great paper. I love this kind of tropical theme, which is what I'm going for, the greens, the pinks, the tropical feel. It's got a little bit of gold foiling in it, which I love. On the back are some pink flamingos, which I think are so cute. This peachy color, I really like this peachy color, and it's going with some of the other elements I've pulled out. And then I've got, more tropical leaves and florals. So that's kind of the paper that I pulled out. And then I went through my sticker stash and grabbed just a bunch of things that from Happy Planners and other sticker sets. Here's some gold pineapple paper, which I think I will use on a different page. I have a trip to South Carolina coming up, and if you know anything about South Carolina, you know that there is a great place in Charleston right on the water that's got a pineapple fountain. It's very famous in South Carolina. I believe the pineapple is the South Carolina fruit. I'm not quite sure about that. Somebody fact check me on that, please. But, South Carolina and pineapples kind of go hand in hand. So I'm going to be using that. And then I also went through and pulled out just a couple of other things that I thought might go, some journal cards and things like that. So I'm going to just pop on some music and put this mood board together and speed it up a little bit. And then the next step will be to set up my brain dump page. Alright, so I am super happy with the way this came out. It's a bit messy, it's, kind of stacked and layered. I absolutely love it for a mood board, and it captures exactly what I was hoping to capture in my setup for June. Work hard, play hard, there's a lot going on. There's some awesome opportunities to kind of hang out with my family and, explore and have fun and let loose. I also have, a lot of stuff to get done, but being present is going to be really key for me. So anyway, this is exactly the mood I wanted to create for the month of June. So I hope you enjoyed kind of watching that process. It's a bit messy, but that's what I was going for. So now I'm going to set up my monthly brain dump page. All right, so I've got that brain dump page set up, which I am going to use, and I also put a little color scheme down here. I like to do this somewhere in the monthly setup. I use Tombows to, for the whole month, and it really helps me to separate out as I'm flipping back through, previous sections of my bullet journal. It helps me to be able to separate out the sections and months quickly as I'm flipping through if I have a consistent color scheme for the month. So that's what this is. How I use my brain dumps. So I basically use this as a running list all throughout the month. I'm checking here regularly to see what is and is not taken care of. I do have a list of brain dump triggers, which that is located in my freebies on my Instagram account. So head over there, follow me on Instagram, and check out those freebies. Get the brain dump triggers. It's like the master list to help prompt everything that might be stuck in your head that you need to get out in order to be prepared for the month. So go check those out. But I will keep coming back here, and I've had a lot of questions recently on my videos, as well as in the Planning Annie Facebook group, about how to manage just reoccurring tasks or regular tasks, just different ways of task management in your planning system. I will have a video coming out on that soon, because I do think it's a great question and something I have certainly tried a bunch of different methods and have some ideas to share. So I will be putting that out soon. So there's brain dump and mood board. Next up is a special page devoted to a trip that I'm taking with my family to Charleston, South Carolina. This is going to be all about trip planning and packing list and getting ready and memory capturing, all of that stuff. So I'm going to break out the Tombos and do a little bit of drawing. All right, so I have captured what is known as Rainbow Row in Charleston, South Carolina. It's something I'm really looking forward to seeing while we're there. It's just a row of houses, a section, neighborhood of houses that are really brightly colored and, you know, kind of look like a rainbow. So I've captured that, and I'm just going to use this page for things like packing list, and other, you know, the itinerary, any brain dump items specifically related to Charleston. All right, I've got this page set up the way I wanted it. I added in a couple of elements. I put, you know, packing list and to-do. This is really going to be anything else or possibly memory keeping I'm going to capture here while we are actually in Charleston. I did put some sticky notes here on a tip-in. That's also, I just happened to have this journaling card that had the similar houses on it, and put that there. And since we are going to be in South Carolina, of course, I had to sneak a pineapple in here. We're taking this trip. It's somewhat special. It's not just a little getaway, but it's also my oldest daughter is looking at a college in the area, and you know will be her first college visit, college tour, and so you know we're expecting to learn a lot and get a lot of information. But it's also a bit bittersweet that this is really the beginning of you know her leaving the nest, and so I definitely want to capture memories, family memories while we are in Charleston. It's also going to be our first trip that we've taken, you know, as coming out of the pandemic. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I just wanted to have a special place in my bullet journal dedicated to this trip. I'm really curious, do you all do this? Do you put some special, you know, inserts or pages into your bullet journal for trips that you have coming up? Are you planning any trips this summer? And if so, how are you using your bullet journal to prepare for those? All right, with that set up, we are going to move on to a couple of items related to this channel. So in my goal planning for the month of June, I did have a monthly goal this month to come up with 100 video ideas list for this channel in the month of June. And that's just to make sure that I'm addressing in my videos the things that are at the top of your mind. So I'm going to say again, as I did in my June goals video, I'm asking for your ideas. So I've got this list mapped out in my bullet journal for 100 ideas, and I actually have some great ones that I'm going to go ahead and add from some of the Planning Annie Facebook group members who have given some fantastic ideas already, so I can already start the list. So Ginger in the Facebook group had several really great ideas. She asked for the Alistair method as one, which I will say I am familiar with the method, but I have never actually used it. And as I started looking into it, based on this suggestion, I realized I could see some real functionality in both my personal bullet journal as well as my work bullet journal. So I'm excited to do that. Another popular request, and Ginger captured this, but actually I have gotten this request over and over again, is forward planning. So this is all about how do you plan for things in the future in your bullet journal, in your planner. And you know, a lot of times we just default to sticky notes, but is that really the best method? And so I can't wait to do that video as well. Another suggestion from Ginger was collections, which I thought that is a great one too. There are so many fabulous ideas for collections, so definitely going to capture that on the list. Kathy in the Planning Annie Facebook group said organizing planning supplies, which I think is great, a wonderful suggestion, but it makes me very nervous because if I have to show you guys how I organize supplies. That means I have to do a lot of cleaning because what you can't see outside of this space is a very messy craft room right now. So Kathy, I love the suggestion. You're putting me to task to really clean up. Also from Kathy, review processes. So she's talking about how you do weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly reviews, and I love that. I am a huge fan of review processes. I use one every week for both my personal bullet journal as well as my work bullet journal. I also use monthly and quarterly, so I love that suggestion. That's a great one. And then also Kathy asked just the current planner stack, which I haven't done one of these in a while, and so I think that's a great idea too. I had another suggestion from Janie, or Janie, I apologize if I'm not pronouncing that correctly, but she said anything work-related. She really enjoys the work planning videos, which if you are not familiar with those videos on this channel, I'll leave a link to the playlist down below. But I do a lot of work videos, and she's also specifically asking for project planning, which I do get a lot of requests for this, and it's a good time for me to do this video because I have a lot more projects right now that I'm managing based on the new job that I'm in. So I am going to be looking into how I can help share some information, my learnings from project planning in my bullet journal. And then Matt asked for goal planning, and I love this suggestion. I love to talk about goal planning, and I'm actually already planning to do a video on this in my work bullet journal series because I am in a new position and I'm at the point now where I know enough to really sit down and do some strategic goal planning. So make sure you're stay tuned and subscribed for that video. It is coming up. Matt, that one is going to be all about answering your request for goal planning, turning goals into sub-goals and sub-sub-goals, and exactly how you get that down into habits and planning. So 9 fantastic suggestions from the Planning Annie Facebook group. I ask all of you, help fill my list of 100. Leave your recommendations down in the comments below. Head over to Planning Annie Facebook group and join there if you're not already, and join in the discussion about what videos you all really want to see. All right, so that completes this spread, and I'm going to keep going. And again, my goal is to get to 100 by the end of June, so please help me accomplish that. Next pages are another goal that I had in my monthly goal setting is to create a summer meals register. So summer is a bit crazy in my house. People are coming and going. My daughters have summer jobs, and we're just not the same routine and schedule as we are during the school year with regular meals at, Monday through Friday at the same time. So I am going to create a register of summer meals that are easy to pull together, kind of low maintenance. They can also be pulled together and kind of set on the counter for a little while for someone to come in, things that make good leftovers. I am going to be populating that, and I've got a little bit of decoration that I'm going to do on the page for that. All right, so I got my little template to plug in summer meals, quick go-tos, easy to pull together, a quick trip to the store just in case. I added in a couple of palm trees and of course a pineapple. I also added in this tracker. So an additional item from my June goal setting session was to really start to track triggers, and I've been doing a lot of studying. You've heard me talk about this before. I actually, if I flip back in my bullet journal, I did some research on stress triggers, and I'm really focused on stress triggers. There's a lot going on, and I just started to notice over the last month or so that there are some triggers for me as far as stress and how that starts to show up. So really researching, what are triggers, what are the common triggers, what are the typical responses or the different ways that stress triggers can show up, and how to identify them, the process of really paying attention, being present, being aware. And so based on that, I am going to be formally tracking triggers this month and really paying attention to, Is it fatigue? Is it a certain situation or scenario? What is my response? How is that showing up for me? And I really think this is going to help me be able to manage stress better, which is very important. You know, I'm getting older, and stress really does have cumulative effect on your health, mental, emotional, physical health. And so I really want to start paying more attention to stress triggers. And this tracker is hopefully going to help me. All right, so that is my setup for the month of June. I really hope that you enjoyed this bullet journal setup. You know, it's a bit of a throwback to a former style of bullet journal setup that I did, you know, about a year ago, really getting a bit more artistic and spending a bit more time setting up spreads. I really hope you enjoyed this and got some inspiration from it. I would love to hear how you're setting up your bullet journal for the month of June. I would love for you to leave your video ideas. What do you want to see on this channel? What do you want to hear about? What do you want to learn more about? What would you love to ask and get my take on in Planning Annie videos? Help me fill up my list of 100. If you enjoyed the video and got value out of it, please give me a thumbs up to let me know. And as always, thanks for planning with me.